My name's David, I'm 20 and I'll be the fireman today on the mystery train at Pichi Richi Railway.
I'm coming out as a trainee fireman, learning the art of firing from Christopher and Dave.
I've always had an interest in railways and trains, and up here I'm able to get involved, get my hands dirty, and I have a good time up here with friends and mates.
I have been coming up to Pichi Richi ever since I was born. My father was one of the original members, and he obviously brought me up when I was born, and I haven't been able to get away from the place. As a kid I was biding my time to be able to get up on the engine and have a go, and now it's very good fun to get up here and help out. So hopefully within the year I'll finish off my boiler ticket and be able to get an assessment at some stage and be a fully fledged fireman.
It's an environment in which you have to learn skills in order to perform the duties that you're given, but it's enjoyable. We're learning lots of skills to progress from a cleaner to a fireman and then up to a driver. So we're learning about how to run a railway in the full-size world. Well, there are skills and traditions in here which would otherwise be lost, and apart from the fact that it's very enjoyable to play with a big-sized train set, preserving those skills and preventing them from being lost is something that I find rewarding to me.
Ever wanted to drive a train? Who hasn't? Learn railway safe working, drive a rail car, diesel, fire a steam locomotive, or even drive one. Pichi Richi Railway welcomes men and women for all volunteering roles. Learn new skills or help preserve old ones, such as boiler making, welding, sheet metal and timber carriage restoration, upholstery and fine woodwork. Good with people? There are jobs that don't involve getting dirty, such as car captains, conductors, ticket and souvenir sales and catering. Perhaps you are retired and have some spare time. If you have skills and can share your knowledge in mentoring and training young people, you could make a valuable contribution. The catch cry of the day then was, preserve the rail link, through Pichi Richi Pass, at all cost. At a meeting at Tellera Lodge in early May, 1973 with representatives from tourist and historical organisations, Commissioner for the Commonwealth Railways, K.A. Smith gave assurance that the historic line would not be dismantled. The newly formed society had purchased a D-class locomotive, which other societies had also wanted to purchase. On hearing about this, a 21-year-old woman from Adelaide donated $1,000 towards the purchase. When Trevor was asked about when the first train would run Quorn to Woolshed Flat, he said they had not finalised a date yet, but were hoping for autumn or spring of next year, 1974. September 1973, full membership was $10 a year, and then $5 each year after. Family membership was $12.50, with subsequent years $7.50, and associates $2.50 each year. By November 1973 membership had reached 268 mark, with 167 associate members. The Pichi Richi Railway Preservation Society was all finalised by the 24th of October 1973, with the first working bee held the following weekend in 40 degrees temperature. In 2013, Pichi Richi Railway Preservation Society celebrated 40 years since formation in July 1973.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Quorn, the real home of the Pichi Richi Railway.
It's an environment in which you have to learn skills in order to perform the duties that you're given, but it's enjoyable. We're learning lots of skills to progress from a cleaner to a fireman and then up to a driver. So we're learning about how to run a railway in the full-size world.
G'day folks, my name's George Wheeler and I'm the conductor on the Pichi Richi Explorer. And my job is to look after people's comfort and safety and to give them information on the way to Woolshed Flat. And when we get to Woolshed Flat, we also give them information as to where to go for their refreshments.
Good. Just a few things I must tell you for your own safety and comfort. Whilst the train is in motion, no standing on the end platform. No smoking whatsoever anywhere on the train.
To see everything is organised with car captains and what they're doing and they giving out the right information. Young Matthew is a young lad who'd done a couple of trips on the train and he was so keen he went down to Adelaide and bought himself a uniform and everything. Two other young lads on there, Jaden and Tommy, also very keen, and we're trying to encourage these young people because we're all getting old and there's nobody coming up from the younger ranks to take our places. So we give them all the encouragement we can to take our places eventually. This uniform is a copy of my grandfather's, and he used to be a ticket inspector on the London and North Eastern Railway, and these are genuine buttons, and the badge for the London and North Eastern Railway is that one there, the big one, and this is my grandfather's badge. He was a ticket inspector.
Yeah, my name's Ben. Today I am guard on the rail car, which is a special hire. A wedding party has hired it from Quorn to Woolshed Flat, and then Woolshed Flat back to the Willows restaurant, so they don't have a big party and whatever, and then back to Quorn tonight in the darkness, so that'll be quite interesting.
One is called Coach, and the dark one is called...
Arrival at the summit, 1456, departure at the summit, 1501, and we picked up the passengers and we're on our way to the crossing now.
From Peterborough, about an hour and a half drives here, and I'm currently just finishing off year 12 at the high school.
Well, I think there's a few big driving points for me. I mean, first of all, being up here since I was born, sort of just fell in love with the place and steam travel, and father having passed away now, it's a strong connection to our, relationship in the past, so it means a lot to come up here and still be a part. I grew up in the country, not far from here in Oamaru, so it's really nice to get away from Adelaide now and get back to the country. It's all the sort of loves in my life together and have a bit of fun at the same time.
a Thomas the Tank Engine fan gone wrong. So instead of playing with the little toys on the lounge room carpet, I've come to play with the big stuff basically.
I do this because I enjoy it. I come up here, I volunteer. I had some Americans on the train one day and they was working on a Sunday and they said to me, he said, "Oh, you work on a Sunday?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How much you get paid for Sunday?" I said, "Twice as much as I get on Saturday." "Really?" "Yeah." I said, and he said, "How much is that?" I said, "Nothing." So yeah, we do it for nothing. We do it because we enjoy it. We come all that way up here because it's better than sitting in front of the TV at my age and vegetating.
The line opened for public use, with 2 trains per day Quorn to Port Augusta, on the 15th of December 1879. The Pichi Richi Railway replaced a line from Stirling North to Port Augusta. This project was completed in 2001 and allows Pichi Richi Railway Preservation Society's Afghan Express to depart from number 2 platform at Port Augusta Railway Station, as the GAN did on the narrow gauge until 1956. The official opening was held at Easter 2002. See the ancient Flinders Ranges landscape unfold before you, on the full-day Afghan Express return trip, from Port Augusta Railway Station, to the historic outback town of Quorn.
Hey, I'm John. I'm today's driver of the Afghan Express to Quorn. It's light up time. We get up just before 6 and relight the fire at 6 o'clock in the morning. And while the fireman's preparing the fire and building up steam, my task to lubricate the engine for the day's trip. Oil and grease, several types of oil, depending on the component that we'll lubricate. Takes about probably an hour and a half to do the job properly. We monitor at different times during the day to make sure none of the components are getting overheated. We're ready to depart. We release the brakes, wind the wheel down to the forward position, open the regulator slowly until we gather a bit of motion, and then we wind the wheel back to proper operating position, be available in the track. Then on it's a constant adjustment of both the regulator and the position of the wheel. Yeah, this happens until we reach the summit, which is the highest part in the railway. And then we descend the hill into Quorn using the brakes. We've got an automatic brake which works right through the train, and proper operation, we release the engine brake so that the train doesn't bunch up behind us and jerk. And effectively the carriage consist is braking the engine as well. In the reverse direction, we climb all the way to the summit, working hard. When we reach the summit, we come down to Port Augusta using the brakes just about all the way. It's a much longer section.
Only the playing train side of things, which is quite enjoyable. It's also the camaraderie we have here with the other members. You know, we have very strong friendships. I'd say I'd have the strongest friendships here at Pichi Richi. It's really great to know that you have friends that will have your back in whatever situation you come across. Well, playing training sims doesn't entice you. It's also great work experience. You learn what a hard day's work is like, and someone sees that on your resume, and you're going to be a lot more popular than someone who hasn't done any volunteer work in the past. Well, I've been with Pichi Richi for 3 years doing car captaining or whatever, but this is my third trip as a guard.
In 2014, Pichi Richi Railway celebrated 40 years of train operation, with a reenactment of the opening day in 1974.
What does this event mean to the people of South Australia?
Well, this is an incredibly important event here in Quorn with statewide and national significance. The Pichi Richi Railway Preservation Society is actually recognised as a leader nationally, but of course for us here in the Southern Flinders Ranges, we are the ones that have received significant support from this society. We are the ones that support the society in Quorn and Port Augusta predominantly, but also we are the ones that have received significant support. Over 300,000 people have travelled on this train over the last 40 years. More than 25% of them are from interstate. This is something that contributes to tourism, contributes to our local identity, and very importantly, contributes to training. An enormous number of trades are actually taught here to young people by the Pichi Richi Preservation Society. This is incredibly special because 40 years ago, 400 people came together to join as members of this society. And 40 years later today, there are still 400 members. People have passion, dedication, and they're prepared to put hard work into this preservation society. Now, when people come together to do that, it's going to be a success. When they contribute to the local community, it's going to be a success. And when the local community wants to contribute back, it will be a success. That's the recipe that's been so wonderful here.
And what about the tourists? What keeps them coming back, do you think, to Quorn?
Can't beat the trains. When I was a boy, I wanted to be a train driver and a racing car driver. I thought they were on equal footing as far as I was concerned. And young kids still love it. Parents love to take their kids on the trains. But also, there's a very important historical connection here. You know, this is the last working section of the old Ghan Railway, which is one of the most fascinating and interesting parts of our working Australian national history.
2, 3, 4, give it up. 2, 3, 4. So we'll do that all together. Here we go. Right again. 2, 3, 4, give it up.
I'd just like to let you know that we do have an important dignitary travelling on the train today. It's the Duke of Gloucester, Prince Henry. Prince Henry and his companion, Mildred. If you're very lucky, you may also see Prince Henry and Mildred on the train. So have a wonderful morning, everyone, on the Pichi Richi Railway. Thank you.
Now that I'm here, I travel by train. Meeting folks and kissing babies. Again and again. I say to you, as we're all here in the outdoors, serve your king and serve your country. That's what you're here for. I am Henry.
I am Henry.
Good Prince Henry.
Good Prince Henry.
Of the most distinguished orders within the Empire and the Duke of Gloucester.
Of the most distinguished order within the Empire and the Duke of Gloucester.
Of the most distinguished orders within the Empire and the Duke of Gloucester.
Of the most distinguished order within the Empire and the Duke of Gloucester.
Of the most distinguished orders within the Empire and the Duke of Gloucester.
Of the most distinguished order within the Empire and the Duke of Gloucester.
Very nice. On behalf of His Majesty King George V, of course, I would like to say fond greetings from all of us in England and the royal family, and it's an absolute pleasure and a delight to be able to spend some time out here in the colonies meeting some of the wonderful and extraordinary people. Here today, we're in Corn, having a wonderful time meeting some extraordinary people and some very peculiar ones as well. So, thank you so much, and good day to you all.
It was the last of a handful of YXS in the division, which spent their last days shunting the Port Lincoln yard. Almost all boiler fittings remain intact, and deterioration has, in the main, been superficial, boiler cladding and plate work being relatively easy to renew. It was originally built as a Y Class 260, numerically the largest class of locomotives on the SAR, with 129 representatives. Entering service on the 15th of December 1892 on the Northern Division as Y141, it was built by James Martin, builders number 43, of Gawler. On the 30th of July 1927, YX-141 was transferred to the Port Lincoln Division, as one of a total of 22 X-class to work on the division. The restoration has taken about 12 years. On the 3rd of June 2017, it was steamed for the first time. Since then, project manager John Lyas and his team have done load trial, now anticipating a return to service in 2018.